What is going on, Earth signs? This is your girl Venus Archangel here with another daily love reading for y'all. This is going to be for the weekend, November the 10th through the 11th, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently for this weekend. Okay, I'm going to put these here actually. As I'm speaking. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. I'm going to be pulling a Romance Angels card instead of the regular tarot card for the heart of the reading. I'm not going to put a blockage there because I feel like the Romance Angels card, the Oracle card, will explain itself pretty well and give us the obstacle as well to kind of work with because it's all in one, right? And I'm going to be, pretty much doing the similar, mini Celtic cross that I do for the daily readings. So I'm going to be just pulling a Romance Angels card, and you will still have a Oracle card at the very end, as I usually do, and it's going to be the Whispers of Love here, okay? So far, we have the Hermit and the King of Pentacles that's coming out. So there is definitely a lot of, maybe there's some distancing from you in an individual. Maybe something that you've, that you didn't feel. I don't think you didn't feel anything wrong with them. I think this is about you finding your own courage, or excuse me, not courage, but stability, confidence in yourself. Connecting to your to your higher self. The King of Pentacles. Pentacles is you guys, right? Earth's energy. For some of you guys, you may be trying to find it in you to commit to someone. But yeah, all right, guys. If you're unsure of your placements, go ahead and check the description box below. Also, guys, please remember that these readings may not resonate with everybody, and that is totally fine. Very interesting, guys. You may be trying to find it in you to commit yourself to someone. Okay. The King of Swords, rather, Four of Cups, and the Six of Cups. So you guys may be waiting on an offer from a King of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, or you guys are having to speak your truth. And the thing is that you're focusing on a lot of things, a lot of other things that kind of don't matter because it still doesn't make you feel as good as it did. It doesn't make you feel as good as a relationship from the past, or something is reminding you of the past, which is why you're focusing on that. And instead of communicating like the King of Swords, you're kind of, you're trying to figure out your options. Could be that too, guys. Or somebody's making you wait. But let's go ahead and see what's going on. Wow, you have the Tower again and the the Emperor. So you have that in your reading for Friday. So definitely, somebody got their lost control. Something got over. Something happened where somebody's control definitely got out of hand, okay? Or something may have caused someone to lose control of a situation, okay? So, past energy is the Five of Wands, present, Eight of Pentacles, future, the Nine of Swords, and the Golden Ambition is the Four of Swords. Underneath that is the Eight of Swords. Somebody's stuck in their thoughts. Someone feeling trapped. And the Nine of Pentacles. This is talking about, your way or the highway, but this is like feeling trapped, not feeling like you're able to do anything. Something having to do with your independence and perhaps even isolation. Like the Hierophant, the Hermit did come up with the King of Pentacles. Somebody may have distanced themselves. Jeez, you guys got two cards. So you guys have stay optimistic about your love life and give your relationship a chance. So stay optimistic about your love life says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance, and give your relationship a chance says work on your partnership rather. Okay, we're going to keep both of those. All right. So, got a lot to work with here, family. Definitely understandable that you guys are feeling trapped in your thoughts right now, especially considering that you guys have a lot to work on, right? And I feel like you guys are diligently working on it anyway. There's no Seven of Pentacles. Yesterday was Seven of Pentacles, I believe. So, you guys recommitted yourself, working very diligently, working very hard, but the stress is still there, right? There's still like this kind of echoing of doubt that comes up in your readings, or at least in this one. Okay. But it has to do with stability, support, and security. Maybe being alone, being isolated. Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody and they give you everything that you want, but the thing is that There's no emotional connection here, right? As far as love goes, I would like to see cups. And if there's no communication, I like to see swords. Not these two swords, but I like to see some swords. The situation is this, though. Whatever's going on definitely has to do with somebody's point of view. Now, you have analysis paralysis combination here. And the situation is that somebody's overthinking a situation big time. And it may be it has a lot to do with them not feeling like they're, you know, there's no real direction in which to go. But staying optimistic about your love life is like really looking at the situation at all angles, seeing all sides. And I feel like, again, like you guys are, right? But it's hard to do. It's very contradicting to have the 8 of Swords and then the 8 of Pentacles. So, because this is not doing anything but letting your mind run rampant. And this 9 of Swords is definitely the indication of that. Something is going crazy. Somebody's mind is going nuts. And it has to do with this doubt. This doubt is surreal. That's why stay optimistic about your love life is coming up. And giving your relationship a chance is being optimistic about it. Because somebody may be taking a break. Somebody may not be communicating. Because there's no communication here. The King of Swords did come up earlier. And you have the 4 of Cups and the 6 of Cups. The King of Cups is good at communication and talking things through. But there's somebody that may be very staunch on their truth. Or very sure of themselves in regards to what they believe. Who's not talking though? The 4, somebody in this mix is not talking. Somebody may have offered something and somebody may not have responded. Okay. Now in the past, the 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands is coming up. So there's definitely some sort of conflict. Somebody may have argued. There's some sort of argument, some sort of disagreement, or there was just some sort of back and forth that definitely needed some resolve. And I feel like this is the progress of this argument here, the working on what's been discussed, actually physically putting this into existence. Okay, because the 8 of Pentacles is talking about, you know, it's concentration, focus. Somebody's really focused on something. Focus on, you know, on what they're trying to create, what they're trying to build, whether this is a relationship or this is the stability for themselves. Because as we saw, this is the 9 of Pentacles. This is like the 9 of Pentacles in the 8 of Swords to me also indicates that somebody is, the reason why somebody is in their mind so much is because they're not going outside and doing something different. Okay, they're trapped in their own gilded cage, so you can only imagine the things that they can kind of come up with their own mind when they're stir crazy. You know, think about it. When people are, you know, going batshit crazy in their own house, because they need to get out there and interact with people and get to know things. You know, get to know people. You know, have some reason to, you know, to continue to go, to continue to do things, right? Now, if you're concentrating on work and you're focusing on work, you know, you're just work and home, it can drive you absolutely batshit crazy. I know, because I do that to myself sometimes. But we have to remember that we have to do things for ourselves to remind us of why we're doing the things that we're doing in the first place. So I don't think you're kind of staying at home and losing your mind. I think you're doing the work that you're doing, not getting enough fun, not having a lot of fun, doing something that really reestablishes some sort of commitment, or really reestablishes hope for you in this relationship, and really just dredging up a lot of anxiety and stress. Because you have this 3 combination here that's really scary, and I find it very dangerous. So like, you being by yourself like this, in your own world, in your own facility, nobody interact with you, and you're not interacting with anybody else, you can be sure that you may, you know, you still feel trapped, you don't know how to get out of it, and then the perpetual idea of even stepping outside of this comfort zone, stepping out of this gilded cage, that is scary in itself too. But I feel like it's not about just, you know, the fear of stepping out in the world and not having a place to go, or having no idea where you're going. It's more of like, you don't know what to do when you do get out. You have no idea what to do when you aren't single, you know? Dealing with somebody else, having somebody to interact with, that's a nervous thing in itself. And you can control this area, right? But if you feel like you can't control anything outside of this facility here, yeah, that can kind of cause a lot of stress. So the future is the 9 of Swords here. Even though you're working hard, you're very focused, I don't know necessarily what you're focusing on. Let me go ahead and clarify that. Why do you have the 8 of Pentacles in your present? Why does the Earth signs have the 8 of Pentacles in their present? Because of the 9 of Wands. Somebody's definitely not giving up on something. And you know, it's, you know, I'm not saying to give up. Nothing's saying here to give up. But there's something here that, you know, you have 3 nines. 3 nines. And I really feel like Even though you're exhausted, you haven't given yourself a break. You're building a wall up too. You're focused on what you're not giving up on. And I think that you are giving your relationship a chance. In a way. Because you're still working on it. You're still focusing on it. Even though you're exhausted. But how you're doing it may not be very beneficial for you. Which is why I feel like this is your best path to follow. You gotta give yourself a break. You gotta give yourself some time to rest. To reflect. Think about everything that you're doing. You work so hard, guys. And it's like you kind of are driving yourself crazy. Driving yourself mad. Right? And I feel like that's the thing. You're not, there's no reinforcement of optimism because you're just running yourself into the ground. That's why this is your goal and ambition / advice. You may need to just rest for a little bit. The work is going to be there. The relationship is going to be there when you rest. But you gotta give yourself some time to rejuvenate. Because if you're not, you just kind of continue to go. You just got done going through a very intense energy, and then you're going to be intense in your work. No doubt you're going to have a lot of hard times feeling optimistic about the relationship. I think the problem isn't giving your relationship a chance. It's about really trusting that even if you step away for a little bit to give us some rest, it's going to be there. It's having faith in what you're creating, what you're building with someone. And if you have that faith, that shows that's going to give you a whole new perspective of how you see your relationship. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull your whispers of love for today. For the weekend, rather. Right, you guys have looked at your patterns in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. It really does. And it's not about blame. Like when I always say, when the Three of Swords comes up, it's about looking at those old issues, looking at the things that you've been through, and forgiving yourself, the person involved, it's the whole situation, so you could be free. You're not going in to look at what you're doing and saying, this is my fault, this is what I'm doing. It's not like a blame game thing. It's about seeing what you're doing so you can change it, so you can be, so you can have what you want. Freeing yourself from this cage that you put yourself into, or this adamant sea of making something happen. You will have what you want. Your diligence and your hard work, your focus is on point. However, you're driving yourself nuts. You're literally exhausted and stressed out. Like, this is true. And it's because you know what you're going after. That's perfect. But you got to give yourself a rest. Now, underneath there, you have speak the language of love. It says loving words have the power to change someone's life, including your own. It's very interesting. It's talking about talking, communicating. But yeah, it's talking about, coming from a place of compassion. Does it come from a place of compassion? Love is compassionate. Love is unconditional. And if you have unconditional love, then you can withstand anything. But the most important thing is that recognize what you're doing right now, so that way you can work on that. Because honestly, this resting thing that you need to do right now is very important. It speaks volumes about how much you trust the other person, how much you trust the relationship, if you just step away for a moment. Now, if push comes to shove, right? If things do happen that are not very desirable, then it requires you to really think about what you've learned about yourself during this period of rest, right? How much you do need it, and if the way you're going about creating this relationship with this individual is ideal. We're not going to go down that road because obviously there's so many different avenues and so many different ways things can move on. But the most important thing is you will have a really beautiful relationship. I don't have any doubt. But will you be sane when you get there? That's the question. Will you feel like you have your wits about you when you get there? It's super important to remember rest is just as important. You're diligent, you're focused, you're driven. You know, everything that everybody wishes that they kind of had sometimes when it comes to their dreams. But the only issue I'm seeing right now is that you guys have been going, and you just like are starting to kind of get caught up in your mind, and that's when it gets dangerous. So be careful, guys. Love on yourself. Give time back. Enjoy this weekend. Try to take some rest, and you know, really give your relationship a chance. Stay optimistic about your love life by not doing something, by not building something, by not doing any work. Just trust things will be fine. Okay. That's how you give yourself. That's how you give your relationship a chance. That's how you stay optimistic about your love life, right? By showing, by allowing the relationship to show back to you that it's that the work that you put in, the diligence, it just has enough stability to support you taking a break. All right, y'all. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys Monday. Okay, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.